So hey there, beautiful people. This is one of my favorite things to do on video, and that is to interview someone who has been successful with their health challenges. And today I have a very special person who has overcome so much and is on this amazing, amazing health journey, and I cannot wait to introduce you to her today. So stay tuned, and it is coming right up. So hey there, this is Lindy Ford, registered dietitian, clinical and licensed nutritionist, and nutrition detective. I have with me here today a very, very special person. Her name is Marianne Cozzolino, and Marianne had some significant health issues a while back. She came to see me, and I want to say something about Marianne. This woman never complained. I couldn't believe it. If I told her to go and stand in the corner and squawk like a chicken, she would have done that because her attitude was like, whatever. Really, I never told you that. But honestly and truly, her attitude was like, whatever it takes to get better. And because of that attitude, she has realized some healing in her body and continues to heal. And I just want to tell you this, guys. The reason I bring these videos to you, there are so many benefits for you. First of all, there's inspiration. There's inspiration that you can do the same thing. These are just real life people. We're not talking celebrities. We're talking real life, everyday people that have met some of their health goals, and they are going to talk about it, and maybe you can be inspired to make changes as well. So Marianne, thanks so much. I just so appreciate you. And just tell us a little bit about the issues that you were facing.
I'd be happy to, Lindy. Thanks for asking me. What really sent me to you initially wasn't so much weight loss, because I've been overweight my whole life. I had kind of thrown in the towel that was ever going to be fixed. However, most of my labs were trending in the wrong direction. My cholesterol was up, my blood sugars were up, and nothing to the point where I was diagnosed. However, I was well on my way to becoming diabetic eventually, I'm sure.
Right.
And of course, a little weight loss would definitely be a good thing.
Right.
But one of my labs in particular, something called a CRP,
right.
was
And I just
gigantic.
Right. It was pretty big. I'm not going to lie. We're not going to sugarcoat this for you guys. And I'm just so appreciative of this woman that she is willing to come and talk about this on camera because it's going to help you. There is a lab. It's an inflammatory marker for heart disease. And I think every single person on the planet should have this done, especially people over 40. It's called CRP and is C-reactive protein. If your doctor does not run this lab, you need to ask for it. It should be between about 0.5 and 1, and Marianne's was about 10, and so that's significant. That's one of the highest that I have seen. And so she didn't go and cry in the corner. She didn't get all upset about it. She was like, okay, let's just fix this. Let's fix this. And she was willing to do the hard work that it took to fix it. So what are some of the actions that you took to lower your CRP and get some of those numbers? And I'm going to say, I am Marianne. Like, if I didn't do what I told her to do, I would have those numbers because I'm a diabetic ready to happen. I'm a heart disease patient ready to happen. I have it in every branch of my family tree. But remember that last video that we talked about the nutrigenomics piece and the epigenetics? I'm going to link that below. Watch that video. You are not a victim of your genes, and Marianne was not either. So what did you do?
Well, thank you, Lindy. What really had me questioning everything was I was a reasonably clean eater when I came to see you. I would say for probably 10 years I've been eating 80-20 paleo. So for the most part, vegetables, meats, fruits, clean carbs.
Right.
However, I was not losing any weight and my numbers were getting worse.
Right.
So the biggest change that I had to make was to kind of reverse some of my macros, where before I was eating a whole lot of meat and not a lot of vegetables. All of a sudden, I was eating crazy amounts of vegetables, 10, 11 servings of vegetables in a day, which I built up to. I didn't wake up one day and eat 11 servings of vegetables.
Yeah.
But
so just a disclaimer, when you come to see me, I don't start you out on 11 vegetables a day. Okay, I just want to make that clear. Okay, go ahead. So she built up to that.
However, that was one of my advantages, where to know that I could do anything that you said, I already had kind of a foundation of, I already knew how to eat clean. And so to take that to the next level and actually see results was just a beautiful thing for me. The other biggest thing for me was drinking water. I had not had enough water any day of my life, probably, and all of a sudden I was drinking water, and surprise, surprise, when I was drinking that much water all the time, I didn't wake up at night to pee, and I didn't have to pee all day long. I just became very regulated, used to having that much water. Like I said, the two biggest things were eating lots of vegetables and drinking water. And I confess that occasionally, if I wander out to the desert for a little while, the first two steps I make that next morning or that next meal is to make sure that I have many vegetables and that I drink my water. Those two things really are very helpful to getting me back on track and staying on track.
That's great. That is really great, because vegetables, I'm telling you, beautiful people, they are key to a lot of your health issues. If you don't like vegetables, start liking them. Just start slow. Even if you're just doing one a day, maybe go to 2 a day or 3 a day. It's going to make a huge difference. And the water piece is huge as well. So I'm so glad that you had that epiphany. What are the challenges that you face? Tell me some of the challenges.
The biggest challenge for me was staying on track on the weekends.
Okay.
During the week, Monday through Friday, I had to get up early and get people off to school and do my things. So having planned my meals and knowing what I was going to eat when, that was just a matter of course.
Yeah.
Once Friday night would roll around, Saturday night would roll around, it became a little too easy, or it would have been a little bit too easy to just say, well, I'll eat what everybody else is eating.
Right.
So what I ended up having to do was to keep the mindset that I needed to know what my next meal was going to be always. And if I could complement something that my family was going to eat, the big example is pizza.
Pizza.
Okay? Our
That's
family
a tough
tradition.
one. It's a tough one in my house, too.
Our family tradition has been pizza. Once on the weekends, you have pizza for dinner. So I just found some really incredible cauliflower or almond flour or some really low-carb pizza crust.
Yeah.
Made my
That's what I
own.
do.
Cook them alongside with what my
nice.
family was eating, so I didn't feel deprived in any way.
See, in our house, I make them eat the low-carb pizza
Well,
crust.
we're working into it.
She's a lot nicer than I am. Ask my family.
We're working into it because the pizzas keep getting smaller and the toppings keep getting bigger.
Right.
And then we'll work our way into that eventually.
That's great. That's great. So do you feel like you conquered the weekends?
That would probably be the thing that I still have to work at. I think there's no such thing as conquering.
No, it's
However,
hard.
it has become much more a part of my routine to do it right on the weekends as opposed to not do it right on the weekends.
Very good. Okay, so what are some of the benefits that you have gained from changing doing these things and changing and doing the vegetables and the lower carb, less meats? What are the benefits?
Well, biggest one is I've lost 25 pounds. And I have not felt deprived at all. I definitely have not felt deprived. The biggest thing for me is I never get hangry anymore.
Oh, nice.
Anybody out there knows you get hangry. I don't have to travel.
Let's define hangry. Let's define hangry now.
Hangry would be
Go ahead.
hungry and angry. And more of a low blood sugar
It's
hungry.
low blood sugar. It's when your blood sugar drops because it's been way too high. So you walk around with it too high and then it drops and everyone needs to take cover.
And my favorite part of that is I no longer have to eat now. There's never a capital N-O-W. I get hungry, yes, and I enjoy eating.
Yes.
But there was one week, it was actually a Friday night on a weekend, and I came in the house and I had a hankering for a buffalo chicken soup.
Oh.
And the recipe that I like best takes an hour.
Yeah.
And I was already hungry.
Yeah.
So I didn't have to rush to the pantry and have a snack. I just took the hour to make the soup.
Good.
And I just enjoyed it. And it was such a gift to me to be able to have what I was craving and to not worry about the fact that it took an hour to cook.
Oh, that's so awesome. And I just have to give you this little disclaimer about Marianne. She is also a chef. And what was so cool is that I was doing some wellness classes back in the fall of the year, and Marianne actually came to the class, and I mean the whole suite, the whole office smelled heavenly because she made this dish that is not a diet dish. It was just good food made right, and good quality food and whole food made right. And it was like this sausage spinach soup, and it was so, so good. And actually, I'm going to be making that for my family. So that was really cool. And she has her own business for people in Wilmington, North Carolina. So I just want to let you know that Marianne can actually come to your house and cook with you, do cooking classes. It's the coolest thing. I'm going to link her information below and let you know about it, because anybody in Wilmington needs to know about Marianne. I can't wait to hire her to come to my house and do a cooking class, and actually she'll feed you dinner as well, which is so cool. So let me ask you this. What is your best advice? Give everybody out there, because people struggle. You know how much. I mean, I've struggled. I have struggled my whole life, and so have you.
Yes,
and like I said, I'm a diabetic ready to happen. So are you. One of the things too is we're going to have her CRP. Her CRP has already gone down, but we're going to have it checked again in March, I believe. And so we're going to find out. But I can't be sure, but I'm almost sure that it's going to go down, which is great.
I'm sure as well. My biggest piece of advice, especially for anybody out there who's been struggling with this for 10 or 20 or 30 or 50 years, it's not your fault. It's not that you're a glutton with no willpower.
No.
And stop blaming yourself.
Right.
If there's physically something wrong, it can be repaired.
Right.
So I suggest that you just don't give up until you find your Lindy or your book or whatever it is that really resonates.
Right.
And you look at it and you say, I can eat that way for the rest of my life.
Right.
And when you see that, you dig in with both feet and you do, 98% compliance for 2 months.
Yes.
And your whole body changes.
Change.
I called it, I got in touch with her and I said, the switch flipped.
Yes.
And what that meant is all of a sudden, I felt normal about eating. I would get hungry and full. And I would stop eating with food on my plate.
I know.
And
that never happened before, did it?
Never. And there was no craving. Yeah, I had a craving for buffalo chicken soup. But
but
we're
that's
not
okay.
talking about cravings for sugary things. It's just easy.
Yeah. And she didn't, I just need to make this very clear. She did a lot of vegetables, but she didn't lower her fat intake. Actually, she increased her fat intake because fat increases your satiety, the good fats. I'm not talking about hydrogenated oils or your oils. Most of your oils are terrible and they're crap, and go back and watch those videos. But I'm talking about the good fats like, grass-fed butter and that kind of thing, or avocado. I just ate 2 avocados for lunch. Those kind of fats that give you nutrients, but they also give you that satiety. And so just remember that as well. And also just remember to keep a good attitude like Marianne. And it isn't your fault. A lot of this really is, you're kind of a victim of, some of it's your genetics, right? But also the food industry has just duped us. They've told us lies. And so a lot of us are eating foods that we think are healthy and they're not. So I'm going to continue to cut videos about that. But also be Sherlock Holmes with your health, right?
Absolutely.
You've got, what Marianne did is that she faced the facts. Like she wasn't gonna be like an ostrich and put her head in the sand.
It wasn't my fault.
Is it an ostrich that does that?
It is.
Okay, I wasn't sure what
my
animal.
fault, maybe, but it was still my responsibility to take charge.
It wasn't her fault. It really wasn't. And just like I say it all the time, I'm a diabetic ready to happen. I am one of those insulin metabolisms that was given to me in my genetics, but I am not a victim of that. That's the big part. You need to check your thyroid, folks. You need to check your gut health. You need to check your blood sugars. Your blood sugars need to be in a tight fasting range. Your A1C needs to be it's a diabetic marker, needs to be between like 5.2 and 5.5. Don't accept just, you're careening towards prediabetes. That's just your fate. It is not your fate. Your CRP, C-reactive protein, needs to be checked. So all of these things are going to give you clues to put the pieces of your health puzzle together. And that's what you did.
Absolutely.
With
your help.
Do you have any parting words for our peeps here?
What I would say is Lindy is the bomb.
No, it's not me, honestly. No, this is not about me. This is about just good science and applying good principles and really finding out what's going on in somebody's body.
And what I mean by Lindy is the bomb, I mean you have to find someone who will help you
that helps.
figure out what is the cause.
Right. What is the cause, you know? And sometimes it is, sometimes it is, you are eating maybe too many of the wrong things, but a lot of people don't even know what the wrong things are, you know, and they think that that big old bowl of cereal in the morning is okay, when that would send me into glycemic shock, or Marianne at the same time. So what I'm saying, beautiful people, is be like Marianne. That's what I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. Be like Marianne. Face the facts, get help, get to the bottom, try to figure out those numbers and where you are, and do you drink enough water, and do you get enough vegetables, and what's your blood sugars looking like? Because let me tell you something, knowledge is power, right? And you can't fix what you don't acknowledge.
Absolutely.
That's quotable. You cannot fix what you don't acknowledge. So anyway, thank you so much, Marianne.
Oh,
I
my
so
pleasure.
appreciate this. And if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. I so appreciate that. And also, I'm like I said, gonna link Marianne's information below. And please join our YouTube family. We'd love to have you. Press that subscribe button. It'll come down there somewhere. And also, just remember that everybody deserves the freedom to live in optimal health. Thank you for joining us.